The famous movie Lord of the Rings comes to my mind whenever I think of this project. This project is famously called as blockchain of blockchains and has a good potential to turn around the way crypto industry operates. Welcome to Crypto Tubes. I'm your host Paras, and in today's video I am going to talk about this DOT, the Polkadot project with its DOT token. I will talk about an in-depth review of Polkadot and its ecosystem, how it operates and how it's going to change the landscape of crypto industry. Before I start the video, if you are a reader and wish to read about cryptocurrency like Polkadot and any other crypto coins, do check out the link in the description box, and also you can visit my website, which is katoshTubes.com, and get all the information about the crypto coins of your choice. Having said that, it's time to jump right in and explore Polkadot. Before I take you through the list of topics and explain what is Polkadot and its ecosystem and price prediction, can you explain or answer this question for me? And that is, what is inflation? Comment below and let me know your answer. Having said that, let's talk about what is Polkadot and the list of topics that I am going to cover in this video. I will start with what is Polkadot crypto project. Second, I will talk about what is Polkadot crypto coin. Third, I will take you into the Polkadot architecture, a know-how of the system. And next, I will talk about how does Polkadot work. Then what is Kusama, Polkadot versus Cardano, a difference between the two blockchains. Next is benefits and drawbacks of Polkadot. And finally, Polkadot price prediction. So I will start with what is Polkadot crypto project. Founded in the year 2016, Polkadot is an open source decentralized blockchain that was essentially created to address two main problems of blockchain technology, and that is security and scalability. Now, it was founded by a person named Gavin Wood, the person right here, who is also the co-founder of Ethereum blockchain. He left Ethereum in the year 2016 because he believed that Ethereum is not growing at a faster pace as it should be, and left the position of CTO and founded Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is interoperable, it is upgradable, and also it allows new blockchain creations on its platform. That's why it's famously called as blockchain of blockchain. That brings me to the next question, and that is, what is Polkadot crypto? So DOT is the native currency of Polkadot ecosystem. Just like you have currencies like Cardano, ADA, and Solana Sol, Polkadot serves a quite similar purpose on its network. The top main purpose of Polkadot DOT token is governance, bonding, and also staking. If you are a holder of Polkadot tokens, by default, you will be able to take part in the governance decisions. Also, you can stake your DOT tokens, and finally, DOT tokens will be used for bonding. By bonding means connecting between relay chains and parachains. I will talk about those next when I cover the ecosystem or the architecture of Polkadot. Now, there is one thing that you should keep in mind, that Polkadot doesn't have any supply cap, and the currency, the DOT token, is inflationary. Now, by inflation I mean that you will lose 10% of its value every year if you are just holding Polkadot tokens. In order to get rid of the inflation effect, you need to stake Polkadot tokens. That's how the system is designed. All the DOT holders who are holding DOT tokens will be required to stake the tokens if they want to hedge their DOT tokens against the inflation. So this thing you need to keep in mind. I will explain more about inflation when I cover the benefits and drawbacks of Polkadot tokens. Having said that, it's time to get into the details of Polkadot architecture. Now, if you are a newbie or if you are just beginning to understand the blockchain, and if you are not able to understand the architecture, what does relay chain, parachain, parathreads means? So first, take a look into the definition. Then I will try to explain the architecture in a creative way by taking an example of a tree. Yeah, that's how creative I am. I think so. So let's jump right in and explore Polkadot architecture on the screen in front of you. The number one layer or the most important chain in the Polkadot architecture is relay chain. So relay chain is also the backbone of Polkadot ecosystem. It is responsible for network security, consensus and cross-chain interoperability. Next is you have parachains. So parachains delegate their consensus to relay chain in order to make it fast and congestion free. So parachains are numerous number of blockchains which are there on the Polkadot ecosystem. Next, you have something called as collators. So collators are special chains that help connect parachains with the relay chain. And next, you have parathreads. So consider parathreads as the extension of parachains. So these are the blockchains which are part of parachains, and it works as a pay-as-you-go model. Just like you have SaaS, which is software as a service. Finally, you have bridge. The role of bridges is to make the network interoperable with any other blockchain. Just like you can connect the parachains with the blockchains like Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, Cardano or any other blockchain out there. So bridges help Polkadot to connect with other blockchains. Now all this may sound confusing, so I have a simple tree structure to explain this particular architecture. So let me move on to this tree. So in the tree, you have on the base, it is called as the root. So root is the relay chain, which means it is the backbone of the complete structure of Polkadot. Next, you have something I explained about parachains. So parachains are the branches in a tree. It extends and there are numerous number of parachains, which means there are numerous number of branches or numerous number of blockchains within the Polkadot ecosystem. And to connect parachains and relay chain together to establish the connection between these two, we have a trunk of a tree which is called as collator that I explained earlier. Next, we have something called as parathreads. Parathreads are the sub branches in the Polkadot ecosystem, and finally we have flowers, which represents your bridges. So bridges help to connect one blockchain, the Polkadot blockchain, with other blockchains, similarly like flowers, which help in pollination by connecting with other flowers. So this is how I simplify the architecture, and now I will explain how does Polkadot work by using NPOS. So Polkadot works on an NPOS mechanism, which is nominated proof of stake consensus mechanism. It has nominators, it has validators, and then it has fishermen. Nominators are the one who holds these DOT tokens, and they need to stake those tokens on the validators. So validators are the nodes which is used to stake the DOT tokens. And then it uses the basic proof of stake consensus mechanism to check or approve or deny a block which is created on its blockchain. And all this take place on the relay chain. So that's why relay chain is the backbone of Polkadot ecosystem. It provides the essential security and block approval process that is necessary to approve any blocks that are there on any type of parachains. So that's a little bit into how does Polkadot work. If you want to read in detail about the Polkadot ecosystem and how does it work, you can click on the link in the description and read about Polkadot ecosystem and a complete review. Next, I will talk about what is Kusama. So Kusama is a testnet of Polkadot ecosystem, and that means Kusama is kind of a mock exam before you give your final exam. So any applications or any startup that wish to run their applications on Polkadot, they can first try and test them out on Kusama, and once they are satisfied with the test, they can replicate it and copy the same code on Polkadot and run their application on the Polkadot ecosystem. So this means that Kusama is the testnet, and also it is built with the same coding, with the same level of coding, same level of architecture as that of Polkadot. It's a copy of it, but it's more of a test ground for all the businesses to test their apps on the Kusama blockchain before moving into Polkadot ecosystem. That's a great move by Polkadot by creating a testnet. No other blockchain has done it till yet. Next, I will talk about Polkadot versus Cardano. Before I take you through the difference, if you want to learn everything about Cardano, you can click on the link above and check everything about Cardano and its ecosystem. Now let's jump right into Polkadot versus Cardano. So I have created a table to make things easier to understand. So number one difference, the parameter of comparison is consensus mechanism. So Polkadot runs on NPOS, which is nominated proof of stake, and Cardano has POS, which is proof of stake. Second is test network. Like I said, Polkadot has Kusama as a test network, but Cardano has none. Projects created on Polkadot are approximately 300 plus, but on Cardano there are none. There is no famous project that I can recall which is created on Cardano. Total supply. So Polkadot has unlimited supply and Cardano has only 45 billion supply. Next parameter of comparison is token type. So Polkadot is actually an inflationary currency, while Cardano is deflationary currency. I explained that before also. Inflation means you will lose 10% of its value year on year if you don't stake your Polkadot tokens. And the final is community engagement. So Polkadot community engagement is quite low when compared to Cardano, whose engagement level is very high compared to Polkadot ecosystem. You can check this comparison by visiting their Reddit pages, and there you will understand the difference between the level of community engagement between Polkadot and Cardano. So that's about the difference. Next, I will talk about the benefits of Polkadot ecosystem. So benefits are quite clear right now, and that is number one is ability to create blockchains on its platform. Yes, Polkadot is one such ecosystem which has ability to create multiple blockchains on its network. That's why it is called as blockchain of blockchains. Number two is it's interoperable. Because of its feature, Polkadot is very much interoperable with any other blockchain that is there on the crypto space. It can be connected to Ethereum, it can be connected to Solana, it can be connected to Cardano. That's the beauty of Polkadot, being interoperable with any other blockchain. The next benefit is it is financially stable. As per the Crunchbase number, it has a total funding of 293 million US dollars, and that's a good figure to build or create new projects on Polkadot ecosystem. The team is pretty strong and the network is quite big, and that needs a good financial support to expand, and Polkadot has that. The next major benefit of Polkadot is it has its own testnet, which means it has Kusama. There is no other blockchain according to my knowledge which has their own testnet. Because of Kusama, Polkadot is able to attract many applications that can run their test on the Kusama network before switching to Polkadot. A good strategy, I say. That covers the benefits. Now I will talk about the drawbacks of Polkadot crypto project. So the number one drawback that comes to my mind right away, and that is it has an inflationary currency. Yes, DOT is an inflationary currency, which means it will lose 10% of its value every year, which is something similar to fiat currencies. Now, to explain it, I will give an example of a US dollar or a 100 rupees note. Let's say you have a $100 in your pocket, and 10 years back you went to grocery store. You can buy more items worth of $100 than you can buy them now. That is inflation, a loss in the overall value of the currency you are holding. So that's the problem with Polkadot. If you don't stake your Polkadot tokens, you will lose 10% of its value every year. This is one of the top drawbacks of Polkadot crypto coin. The next drawback is competition. There are a lot of projects which are competing in the same space, and the top projects which are competing with Polkadot is Cosmos. If you want to learn about Cosmos, you can click on the link in the description and read about this amazing project, which is posing a challenge to Polkadot. Apart from it, there are other projects which are coming up like Phantom with FTM token, and then you have Solana. So all these projects are fighting for the same space. So Polkadot has a tough challenge ahead of its complete launch. So that covers the drawback of Polkadot, and now your favorite part is here, and that is the price prediction of Polkadot crypto coin. Polkadot seen an all-time high of $50 during the bull run of 2021 before falling back on its feet and going below the value of 20 cents. That is because of the market crash. The project has potential and it is gaining momentum quickly. To prove that, you can check about the Polkadot parachain auctions. Just after the announcement of Polkadot parachain auctions and the announcement went live, the value of Polkadot surged and again hit the value of $50 per token. Now, given the hype of Polkadot and the complexity of its network and the problem that it is solving, I won't be surprised that in the near future it can cross $100 mark per token once the parachain auctions are over and there are promising blockchains that are built on its network. In the long run, I am quite positive about Polkadot, but that also depends how strong the network is technically. Having said that, the things look quite bright for Polkadot, but it has to keep an eye on the competition from the likes of Cosmos and Avalanche. So that covers my review of Polkadot. In the next video, I will talk about new coin. So do watch the video shared on the screen and do remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next week. Till then, take care and have a good day.